Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for taking your Saturday to be with us today, just to be here to do what we love. So we are from Rutgers Business School, the Master of Science in Digital Marketing program. My name is Alyssa DeLuca.
My name is Sarah Parr.
And I'm Caitlin Bentley.
And we also have our academic advisor, Stacey Swartz, on the line. And as we get right into it, we're going to start looking at what we're going to be going over today, starting with that radio flyer background and going all the way into our experiential idea. So when we first start looking at that background on the radio flyer, we see here that Radio Flyer was founded in 1917 with over 100 years of family-owned fun. It's the world's leading builder of wagons, tricycles, scooters, ride-ons, anything like that. So our target here is going to be families with more than one children, aged 1 to 10 years old, located in both cities and suburban areas across the U.S. And we've got a few jobs here that are going to be done. We need to engage those new customers. We need to maintain relevancy while leveraging that 100-year-old legacy and heritage. We need to lead existing customers to loyalty. And then finally, the most important, we need to elevate, recruit, and retain in the e-bike market. So some key KPIs here are going to be the view-through rates, the impressions, the engagement, the click-through rate, and the return on ad spend. And as we're moving forward, we have a few competitors in the market, which we've discussed already today. So we have Aventon, who's valued at $590 million as of 2022. They have over 300,000 e-bikes sold, founded in 2012 and headquartered in California. And we also, on the other side of that, have Grab Powered Bikes, valued at $329 million, selling over 350,000 e-bikes, founded in 2007 and headquartered in Washington State, which is great because we see that heritage and legacy of Radio Flyer is really on the line there. So in terms of findings, we have 26.5 billion was the value of the global e-bike market in 2021, with that anticipation to grow around 10% between 2022 and 2030, which is a great time to be getting into that market for Radio Flyer. Over 790,000 e-bikes were imported into the US in 2021, which is a 70% increase compared to 463,000 in 2020. And then we also see that 61.6% of Gen X and millennial parents have more than one child, with 42.7% of their children being between 1 and 10 years old. So really a great market to be in right now. In terms of our target audience, we have the adventurous explorers. They're always excited. They're ready for the next adventure, and it's always a second away, especially with their loved ones by their side. We have the memory makers who want to make every second count, and they want to seize every moment. And then finally, we have the on-the-go families who are active, busy. They need the right tools to empower that robust lifestyle. So what we're seeing is there are some great areas of opportunity here to position Radio Flyer as this top competitor in the e-bike market category. So going all the way from that little red wagon, there's this way to evolve with consumers every step of the way as we're growing up with them. So in terms of what that looks like, it's really about leveraging brand storytelling, those social media ads, the immersive experiences, and that's where we really start to get on with it.
When we're looking at our campaign objectives, we see that there are 4 stages: awareness, consideration, conversion, and loyalty. And those can be achieved through various social media platforms. We're really looking to engage our customers, attract them, ensure them, and retain them over time. And when we're looking at general-owned social strategies, we think it would be a good idea to homogenize all socials for consistent brand identity, which means homogenizing the handles across platforms and making the bios simple, relatable, and to the point. We also think it would be great to optimize posts across platforms by using a variety of hashtags, different types of content, encouraging people to save, share, like, and comment, and utilizing link trees in Instagram bios and YouTube and Instagram buttons in TikTok bios. And finally, engaging with our audience is key, so reacting and replying to comments on every platform. Specifically, we think it would be a great idea to remove all watermarks as well as utilize in-app features like text-to-speech to boost algorithms on TikTok. We think that tagging people and products in posts could help with engagement and calls to action on Instagram, and creating a monochromatic aesthetic grid could be something to consider as well. And finally, on Facebook, getting preview links in place of the huge pictures to enable the deletion of link text would ensure a smoother ride down the platform. When we're talking about a content mix, especially on Pinterest, we see that some platforms have mostly user-generated content and others have only professional product photos. And while UGC is great for earn, trust, and budget, it's not necessarily aesthetic. So consider a balance of professional work and UGC to help inform all parents on all platforms while focusing on a variety of kids and families. When we're looking at paid and owned social strategy, we really want to make sure we're leveraging our Pinterest search ads with targeting and keywords that show up in top results to keep Radio Flyer top of mind. We want to look at YouTube ads, which we'll see later in a programmatic slide. And we want to leverage influencer and content creator partnerships on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Specifically on TikTok, we think earned strategy would be great by making something that goes, stitch this with your favorite way to get around town, I'll go first, and then showing off the e-bike. And we also want to use our influencer partnerships with aspirational target blogger families like the Volunteer family with 1.82 million YouTube subscribers and a large following on other platforms as well. So getting that cross-platform traction.
And now we'll dive into search trend. So there are two graphs here that show the number of searches for Radio Flyer versus competitors. So searches for the Radio Flyer brand e-bike with all search term combinations are at 0 until the campaigns go live and remind consumers of the brand. Whereas searches for our competitors remain consistent because the brand has an always-on approach that keeps them top of mind. So rather than popping up at key moments, we want to play on our heritage brand name recognition by consistently staying top of mind for consumers. And now that takes us into our programmatic approach. So as you'll see here, we have 4 different programmatic product recommendations for Radio Flyer. Programmatic supports a full funnel campaign by recruiting new consumers with targeting. This will allow for utilizing scale, segmentation, targeting, and optimization options to drive efficiency and tell a brand story by hitting consumers at multiple touch points. Now we'll dive into our budget allocation. So here you can see a pie chart containing our $250,000 budget broken out by channel. To take you through our reasoning for the specific allocation, we'll start with Meta, Facebook, and Instagram. So Meta is home to nearly 5 billion monthly active users. Users come to these platforms to build relationships and connect with others, and there are advanced targeting capabilities that allow us to reach and connect with our different audiences. With these platforms being home to the most users, it's important to put a bulk of our budget here. Now turning to TikTok, with an amazing reach of nearly 100 million active users, TikTok has been called the most valuable platform for D2C advertisers. TikTok is home to many niches and is a great way to reach parents that are looking for fun life hacks, DIYs, and tips on parenting. Pinterest is a platform where those who are planning and excited for all moments of life come for inspiration. This platform allows for reaching nearly 445 million monthly active users at their happiest and most creative moments. Pinterest users are 7 times more likely to say that Pinterest is the most influential platform for their buying decisions. So now we're going to look at influencer marketing. Leveraging influencer marketing has been known to offer a high ROI and be a cost-efficient way to inspire purchases with connected audiences. Influencer partnerships have gotten as popular as they are because people have been said to trust recommendations from influencers over recommendations from their friends and even family members. So now YouTube is a platform where people go for entertainment that is catered to their specific interests that also allows for optimized targeting. And finally, Google supports a full funnel campaign by recruiting new consumers with conquesting while also reminding consumers about us throughout their journey. So now I'll take you through our campaign timeline by showcasing the Radio Flyer schematic. So the blue flights highlight the key moments that Radio Flyer will be live. And to stay top of mind, programmatic will have an always-on approach by being live from May to December, while the various social platforms will be used to amplify our brands during key hallmark moments. And then our influencer marketing campaign will run during holiday in order to plus up at that moment. So now we'll discuss cost and KPI estimates. As discussed before in regards to our reasoning for budget allocation across channels, the chart above shows how we allocate our budget across the digital product offerings, across social and programmatic, in order to yield the highest return on ad spend and estimated impressions. So whilst budget allocation was derived from previously mentioned reasonings per channel, we ultimately prioritized putting budget where we saw the highest estimated return. So here is our high funnel product mix. The average CPM and BTR are all benchmark numbers relating to each platform. And we recommend the use of stories and in-feed videos for paid social across Meta and TikTok platforms, and the use of non-skippable bumpers and 15-second videos for advertising on YouTube. And now turning to the cost and KPI estimates at the low funnel level, the same process has been seen here regarding how we came to our average estimated impressions and clicks based upon the benchmark CPC per platform. We recommend the use of image ads and promoted pins and carousels across Meta and Pinterest, and the use of responsive display and search campaigns for Google. We also have influencer marketing campaign estimates highlighted here based upon industry average for these types of campaigns, and with an estimated number of views based on the last month's worth of YouTube videos from the influencer of our choice. So now the recommendations in the plans that we proposed brings us to our estimated potential earnings. We can see here across all recommended platforms, we would be yielding nearly 16 million estimated impressions, 85,000 estimated clicks, 3,000 estimated conversions, and a total of approximately 4.5 million return on ad spend based on the assumption that our estimated converts purchased the e-bike we are promoting and not any additional products. So some ways to go about building these numbers in the future are based on the actual stats and not the estimates that could look for a better qualification of the clicks and decipher how engaged that traffic we received truly is. So if the consumer has a high amount of time spent on our page and a large site depth based on their number of pages per visit, it tells us that we're delivering value and possibly a future conversion rather than a click that is just coming to our website and taking a quick look around and leaving. So to truly build upon conversion in the future based on what we presented, we recommend using the data and then A/B testing certain pages to see if small changes lead to improvement in the customer buying process and ultimately the number of conversions in the future.
And when we're looking at that experiential idea, that big idea, we want to see the world through radio-colored lenses, right? But we have to take those baby steps. So let's start with our market in the brief, which is the US. And what better way than national parks? So we have some context here, which is there were over 312 million visits made to national parks in 2022, with families making up a significant portion of that visit. 61% of parents said visiting national parks was a great way for children to learn about nature and the environment. 85% of parents said visiting a national park was a great way to create those family memories, which is great for that memory maker target audience we were looking at before. And scenic biking is also one of the most popular activities for families in national parks. So we have this opportunity here for Radio Flyer to partner with national parks, add those flyer cruisers to their bike rental programs, which are approved by NPS guidelines of the Class 2 e-bikes. We see that the cruisers can provide the target audiences with new experiences, creating those impactful memories, learning about the environment around them, and seeing national parks through radio-colored lenses like how we see them. So along with being able to physically engage with the cruisers and being able to, touch them and feel them and understand what it would be like buying one, families can also learn and have fun with different digital experiences as well. And when we're looking into what this might look like, we see that this is an existing idea and we're just putting the Radio Flyer twist on it. So Glacier National Park has an e-bike rental program, and some logistics here. We see that riders have to be 18 and up. E-bikes are suited for paved roads in Glacier, but not for dirt roads, gravel roads, or trails, which is the same for regular bikes. We see that bike carriers fit a variety of cars, and they're able to rent for $30 a day, which means that they can attach this carrier to their car and be able to transport the e-bike. We also see there's the ability to reserve the bike shuttle in Glacier, which is 1.5 miles from the main park entrance at their office, and that's available for $40 per person to avoid driving and having to find parking at the park. We also see that bikes, helmets, a repair kit with extra tube in case of a flat is included in the rental. Now, when we're looking at rules and regulations, we see that the e-bikes have to have 2 or 3 fully operable pedals. The motor must not exceed 750 watts. In specific park locations, e-bike operators are permitted from just exclusively using the motor and having that with a long period of time without pedaling. And then we see that both traditional bikes and e-bikes are prohibited in the wilderness under federal statute. And then finally, when we're looking at the last two, we see the NPS e-bike policy seeks to be consistent with the state that they're in and following those rules that are applying with the 3 classes of e-bikes. And from that, we see that most national parks actually rent out Class 1 and Class 2 e-bikes, but superintendents do have the final say which e-bikes are allowed in the park, which can vary from park to park.
And with all of this, we have a few areas of potential activation, the Radio Flyer and the National Park Passport Program being one of them. With 300,000 people purchasing National Park passports in 2020 despite challenges, this could be a great historic way to get people involved. It was launched in 1986, and the National Park Passport Program has brought families and visitors together by providing a physical and digital memory keeper of time spent in each national park. There's an opportunity for Radio Flyer to sponsor this and have a key role in helping families store memories, especially if they also rented a flyer cruiser to explore the national parks. The second area is the Radio Flyer National Park Scavenger Hunt. Rented e-bikes provided by Radio Flyer could incorporate a QR code on the handle of bikes, which would lead riders to the interactive scavenger hunt mobile website, providing families with an educational list of plants, trees, and bodies of water, most of which align with the colors of the cruisers, to find and identify together while staying away from the bike-prohibited wilderness area. And after families finish the scavenger hunt, pictures can be uploaded to the website for riders to earn a unique $50 discount code that can be put toward a Flyer e-bike or compatible accessories. With all of this, thank you so much for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this ride as much as we did.